Guys, thank you for jumping on the call. Sorry for the mess ups the last few times. Unbelievable, these damn computers. Anyway, we are good to go, hopefully. So I'm just going to recheck my live stream over here and see if that is all working fine, which I think it is. Maybe a very quick little comment in the chat if everything is working fine. Pretty sure it is. And I'll just unmute myself. Okay, I think that is all good. Wow, okay, well that was a bit of a pain in the ass. I thought I had everything set up properly in the beginning. Anyway, let's jump into it. So I hope you guys been enjoying our signal chart that we were watching a few minutes ago, which unfortunately, the bloody thing timed out on the first video, but we had a really powerful signal come through. And price breakdown, retest the breakout volume markers, come back down, breakout marker left behind. We even had these nice cyan bars over here, which have helped us give us a reversal. So incredible signals from our signal chart. And we're going to look a bit more about some of the trades that I took during the week. So that'll also help to put things into perspective regarding that. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a few things. We'll look at our performance from last week. We're also going to look at a very powerful update that I've made to the Analytical Strategy 1. And this update's going to eventually filter into the other strategies, but we're using this one as our base. Damn amazing update. So you guys definitely want to watch out for that. Okay, and then our game plan for the week ahead. So we're going to make sure we have a good setup for next week or for this week ahead, and then be able to tackle that. All right, let me just gather myself after all those hiccups in the beginning. Okay, so the first thing we'll do, we'll look at our results first, because that's what we can jump straight into. So I'm just going to bring that up on my other screen over here. Okay, so I did a lot of scalping trades last week, a lot of manual trading last week. And, it was really after the last group call that we had, where I showed you guys a workspace that was created. And then I basically, we're explaining to you how to trade the charts, how to use the workspace. So I basically did that during the week. And, this is an example of some of the trades that I took during the week. And this is all in our open Discord channel for the group results. So basically entering trades on breakout markers left behind, bar change coloring. That's one of the things we act on, obviously working off the Fibonacci level. So there was a lot in support of, a trade like this. So also using those two charts with the analyzer to be able to determine those brick walls. And as you can see, we had brick walls over there. We had the bars red. And, we also had our trending baseline chart, which are basically over here predicted a baseline break. Because, as we know, the price is either going to, it's either going to form a wick like this, or it's going to go up and form a new baseline, form wicks, form baseline. Return back to the baseline, or, form a new baseline. So that's the only thing that price can do, as we discussed on last week's call. And then also looking at the flat baseline. So exact same thing applies over here. The price is either going to form new baselines, or it's going to return to the baseline. So over here, I just basically predicted, okay, both of these wicks were showing, this one was showing down, and I just basically targeted the next baseline. So that was just like a nice little, like a scalping trade that hit its target. So I basically put that in there as an example. And then a few minutes later, I put in like another position. So like this one over here wasn't as clear cut. And the reason why I say it wasn't as clear cut is because it'll help if I share my goddamn screen, eh? The reason why it is not as clear cut is because we had the the gold bars and the green bars together over here. So basically having that, as it's like a bit of a tug of war between buyers and sellers. But, that still ended up actually being, hitting its target and going forward like that. So like that's the example. And the one I just showed a few minutes ago, while the screen wasn't being shared, you see I'm stuffing up this call, man. Well, hopefully we'll recover nicely. So this was the previous example that I was just explaining, where, entering positions based on a breakout marker being left behind, as well as, Fibonacci levels in play, and just, looking at those two charts, those two independent charts where we had, those optimizations done on them, and then targeting the baseline break, predicting the baseline break, and then, going back to the baseline. So, by having all these different charts in combination, it really provides a very nice basis for us to enter positions. So that's what I was doing last week. There's a few others over here that I put in here. So again, this one over here, breakout markers left behind, long positions, momentum line up. So all of that was that's just like a little scalping trade. You can see how, the brick walls have been crossed. And that's just even one bar. So, even if you guys are targeting one bar as a profit target, remember we've got these, guaranteed price levels. So, we know that the price is either going to, go down to another guaranteed price level or go up to a previous level. So all of these types of situations over here is where that is happening. So it just provides a really, really nice way to be able to trade the market. And then, thanks to you guys for sharing all the results in there. So that's really cool. Continue with that, please. And so he has another few, so again, trading the breakout markers. And this one, actually, interestingly, I added in a brick wall indicator, which was a 2-2. So adding that to the chart, just helping with those brick walls on the chart, and then entering positions based on, what we were seeing on those brick walls. And it actually ended up being quite a powerful day. Great. So that's as far as the results go. The other chats are in there too. So I'm going to just move on because we've been wasting too much time already with the malfunctions. And look at this. I mean, it's so damn good, eh? How these breakout markers are left behind, price moves. I mean, it's just a fantastic way to be able to trade the market very, very effectively. All right, so let's jump into that update. But before we do the update, I'm just going to close this workspace. Okay. And I'm going to open up a new chart. And in fact, I might just do this on my other machine because I've got two machines over here. So I'm going to just bring up the strategy on this other chart. So if we go into the analytical one strategy, and we'll look at the basic features first, because it's very important to understand the basic features of the strategy before we actually go and look at the advanced features and the way that it optimizes and the updates and all that. So generally, when you're using the strategy on your own, and you're not using this auto optimize feature, you will just basically untick that box. So when you do this, you can run the strategy analyzer. You can run all different things within the strategy analyzer, but having that box unticked will make sure that the settings are not automatically updated in the background. So like as an example over here, and it works very similar to the baseline wick trader in the sense that it's got a setting A and a setting B. So, those familiar with the baseline wick trader will really understand that very well. And I'm just going to monitor the chats over there too. So this strategy's got, it's got the stop ticks, it's target ticks, it even has like a trailing stop type of a setup where you can actually move your stops and targets. It's got its general start time, end time, all the blackout periods, the trading days, all the signals. So as you can see, it uses the same indicator as the baseline wick trader. It's got all the stops and targets. So just by enabling this, and we'll see exactly how this looks on the trading chart. So I'm just enabling this strategy on this chart without that auto optimize box ticked. So that's how the strategy basically plots on the chart. And you'll see this strategy over here, I've only got it running from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. And this is also the same template we're going to be using on our game plan for the week ahead. So how this strategy works is it's going to, if I scroll back to, to like a previous trading day. So let's just go back. So you'll see there's like midnight. Okay, so there it's going to start trading at 1 a.m. It's going to take the first signal that's generated after 1 a.m. on this chart. So, even though you might see different brick walls over here, this is the first actual signal that the strategy acted on. So it's got a stop and a target. So you can see it's got a 60 target, a 180 stop, and it's going to hit, it's going to enter positions based on that. And it's not limit orders. It's actual market orders that the strategy is entering. So it's a lot less prone to having issues because there's no limit orders involved, there's no canceling of orders and stuff at different intervals. So it's a very clear-cut, straight, enter a position on a signal and target or stop, and even if it's no target and stop, it's like from one signal to the next. So that's how this is actually going to work. And you'll see, even though you'll see brick wall changes, it's only acting on very specific signals, that have been optimized for this template. So if we look at the performance of this, you'll see, because this has been nicely optimized, it does have a good historical performance of 81 trades. And we look at the analysis, we will see that that's like the historical performance of this. So this is the exact same template we're going to be using this week ahead. And like I said, the nice thing about it, it's only trading from 1 to 7. So, what I've thought of doing, this week and maybe even continually going forward, a lot of guys have said that it's very hard to monitor the strategies, from 9 till 11 or 9:30 till 11. Because a lot of you guys are working, you got jobs, and you it's like your busiest time of day, and it can be quite stressful trying to check if the strategies are running properly, if there's no NinjaTrader errors and stuff like that. So at least this way, it's running during a lot quieter time of the day, and for most of you, you guys will be waking up at 6, 7 in the morning, and then the strategy is basically done for the trading day. So it's a pretty awesome setup in that regard. So you can have the day ahead without any stresses or worries or even thinking about trading, because your trading's actually done for the day. And obviously, we're also trading a time where the market is not extremely erratic and impacted by US events. So, that's the benefit of actually using a template and a strategy, that can be optimized for different times of the day. And like I said, this one is from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the strategy analyzer too, because that's going to help us just look at a few different things over here. So, a lot of you guys have worked with the strategy in the past, and, you've used it, a few different times with, with different setups that you've had. But I don't think a lot of you guys have actually really delved deep into how it can actually benefit your trading. So I'm just going to run this optimization very, very quickly over here. I just duplicated that in a new tab because I don't want to impact, this first analyzer tab, because this one is specifically related to the game plan. So I'm just going to look at this one over here and just let this one complete. And in fact, if I just abort this one, because I don't need it to actually run at this stage, because I want to modify some of the settings very quickly. So when this thing just finishes resetting, okay. So I'm just going to untick the box for use Optimise feature. We're going to cover that in great detail in a few minutes. Let's just optimize this strategy, and I'm just going to use the very latest data just for, just to make it work a lot faster, because we're not optimizing this to get settings. We're actually just optimizing this to show you how it actually functions. So I'm going to just use 4 till to 17, or 4 till 11 like it is today. And I'm going to optimize not using a tick delay. So the tick delay is not often used, but I want to show you guys why that is such an awesome thing to use. So first of all, I'm going to run an optimization using a 0 tick delay. Okay. I'm going to run that. And then I'm going to show you what the chart looks like after that has run. So remember, whenever you guys are using this strategy and you want to run your own optimizations and you want to work with your own templates, always make sure you have that use auto optimize feature box unticked. Because that's, if you don't have that unticked, it's going to retrieve settings from a server instead of keep your existing settings. Okay, I'm just checking the chat to make sure everything is fine over there. Yeah, I can't believe that. All because of a stupid microphone and a stupid bloody software that didn't work how every day works, I mean, I use this damn thing all the time. I loaded the exact same template on the software, and for some reason, the stupid thing, behaves differently. It's the mystery of life we've got to deal with, hey? Anyway. Okay, so like this is an example of just an optimization for the last week's worth of data. And what I wanted to show you is the tick delay feature. So when you're looking at a chart, and I'm just going to see if this actually does it. And okay, it might be because I'm not using all the signals over here. First, that's all right. So I'm going to activate all the signals over here very quickly and just run that again. Okay, come on, NinjaTrader. Normally it's NinjaTrader that fails on me, not everything else. But now it's, the other software. So you're also going to see that it's not going to use a tremendous amount of resources running the optimizations. So it does reasonably, you can run multiple optimizations without overwhelming NinjaTrader on this. And I'm hoping I can just show you what I was saying earlier. So this is kind of an example. So what happens with this strategy, if you're not using a tick delay, is it's going to act on at the first bar that closes for a signal. So what could happen is you could have a signal over there, a buy, and then a sell, and then a buy, then a sell, a buy, and a sell. So you could have lots of signals around a manipulation area. So the brick walls are basically showing you, support and resistance in price, but also where the institutions and banks love to stuff around with price too. So they kind of have like a bit of a manipulation around these levels also. So if the price is running, like like sideways, you might have made a lot of signals in one area, and that can be highlighted. And because we've done an optimization on this, it's going to show us the best signals. But generally, what will happen if you're not using a tick delay, you'll have something like this. So here's a perfect example of what I'm trying to refer to. So you'll have, a buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So you could have lots of trades in a row that actually end up losing because we're not using a tick delay. So by introducing a tick delay, we help with that sideways movement in the market. So even by using like a 20 tick delay, and let's go from 20 to 60 in increments of 20, because we always want to use the bar size that we're running on. So because we're running on a 20 bar size, we're going to use the tick delay in increments of the bar size. So I won't run from 2 to 10 over here. I'm just going to run from 2 to 8, and this one will go from let's just go from 16 to 20 to 58. Okay, so that'll run that one over there. So we'll see how many iterations that gives us, and we'll let this one run. And actually, while that's running, I can bring up another chart and load up the strategy on there to show you what that looks like as we go. So let's just start off to begin with. Let this strategy just run. Okay, it's only 462, so we can also just wait for it. That'll be fine. Okay, so I might just add up a strategy on the chart, and we can look at it like this. So like going on, in fact, I just want to duplicate this in a new tab, just because I've got that chart actually in place for a reason, so I don't want to mess that up, cause extra confusion over here. So going over here, analytical strategy 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load default settings for this strategy. So template reset is just going to give me the default settings, which that one has got. And I'm going to put in the 0 tick delay, enable, apply, and OK. And again, it's not majorly advisable to be working on NinjaTrader while it's running like an optimization, because things can slow down a little bit. And it might also help just to reduce the amount of days on here. You see, that's why I didn't want to mess with that specific chart, but that's fine. That's all good now. So like there's an example of, now that's just running whatever the default settings were, but you'll get to see how you can have multiple signals in one location, just all bunched up together. Whereas if you go doing a tick delay or a bar delay, it's otherwise known as a bar delay, that's actually going to make sure that those that sideways movement is not actually causing an issue on it. So if I take this as an example to a 60 tick delay and I activate that, we will see how the signals are separated a lot further. And again, I just want to change the data series on this chart to just a few less days. Just so that data can load actually a lot faster. And also, if you're not using the auto optimize feature, all these sliders are available to be moved and adjusted in real time. So that's definitely going to be good for you guys who are doing real time optimizations. So you'll see that the signals are a lot more spread out. And again, this is just loading the default settings. It's not actually optimized or anything like that. But you're not going to see a lot of trades all in one section, that are. It's going to wait until there's confirmation of signals and with a bar delay before those trades are actually entering. So think of the tick delay as basically like a bar delay for confirmation of entries. So that's the main idea behind that. And like there's an optimized version of that most recent data, and that's going to give us the same thing. So if I find some entries, you'll see what I mean. So like there, you'll see over here, this had a 20 tick delay. So there was the signal, okay, and then a bar delay entry. So that's how this is going to work. This one over here, the signal, bar delay, entry. So signal happened at the bottom of this bar, so it'll be that's why it happened over there. And this one here did move a little bit sideways, but that's what that actually looks like. So that is the benefit of using a tick delay. So, always try use it when you're doing your optimizations, because it's actually going to make a big difference to, your results at the end of the day, because you're not going to have a lot of, trades all together that are going to run into issues. Okay, cool. So let's jump into our update. Now, I hope you guys are sitting down and haven't walked away yet, because this call has been a freaking nightmare. But, I promise you, if you stay this far, it's going to be worth it, because we've got a really good thing happening here. And if you're operating heavy machinery, just, take a break. If you're flying an airplane, make sure you got a co-pilot that can take over. If you're doing heart surgery, just, rather stop this video and, come back later. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're going to do optimizations over here. And what you're going to notice, so what you guys can do in the meantime is load up your game plan for the week ahead. So if I move away this chart, you'll see behind, I'm going to load up my game plan for the week ahead. So load this up. Now I'm working like this is on my VPS, and this is my own computer at home. So you can see, it's like this is specifically, this is my New York based VPS where I run all my automated strategies on. And I'm just dragging charts and stuff from from my home computer here in Australia, or my work computer, my office computer. So we'll just let this actually load up. So we are loading a lot of data on this chart. So, you can load less data. So, I've just used the full optimization duration for this chart. So it's going to bring up a lot of data initially. But what we can also do on this chart is, you can load up and from the last Sunway onwards. So if you looked at the game plan documents, and we might just bring that up while we are waiting for that to load. So if you bring up the game plan document for the week ahead, you're going to notice over here that it's got, the front of it looks the same. We got all this there, but it says over here, for templates 1, 2, and 3, visit this link, which is also inside the Analytical Strategy 1. So this link over here is going to basically take you to this document. And this document is what you're going to use to set up your templates this week. So this is using the use auto optimize feature. And when you load up template number 1, it's going to give you all of these settings. So the strategy is now able to have settings automatically updated to the settings. So you don't have to go and load multiple templates or change things, during the sessions or even on a trading day. So every single time the settings are updated, they are done so automatically and just pushed through to your strategy. So that is the main gist of what this update is. So setting A, B, and C, the tick delay, the showing the indicator on the chart or not, the stop ticks, the target ticks, the blackout period, the days of the week, all the signals, the daily stops and targets, trade size, start, end time, signals, every single one of those settings are automatically pushed through to your strategy without you doing anything at all, except for loading a chart and a template. So that is it's something that I actually created back in 2023, which, I finally just, reworked on. So if we go to, first of all, our data series. So on our game plan, we've got 20th of April up until the 11th of May. Okay, so that's fine. What you can do also is, if you don't want this amount of data, you can select today's date as the start, but make sure you go 2 weeks back. So like the 27th. So if you want to select the 27th, you can also do that. And what that will do is it will limit the amount of data that is displaying on your chart. So that's something you can do, but I'm just going to load up those strategies. So exactly how that game plan template actually said, what we're going to be doing is loading up that template. So you're going to go template, you're going to go load, you're going to select template 1, Analytical Strategy 1, like this. Okay. So you're going to load that, and you're going to leave all of the settings in here the same. You're not going to touch any of these settings. Okay, so they're going to be left like this. You'll see the start time is 1 a.m., end time is 7 a.m., the stop and end time is 7 a.m. It hasn't got any blackout period. Those are all the trading days. It's only trading the first signal. It's got its daily stops and targets. So you don't touch any of these settings at all. So all you basically do is you load the template, which is automatically going to have this one selected in it. It's going to have the auto optimize feature enabled. And then you're going to select the trading account you're going to trade on, and you're going to click on enable, apply, and okay. So you'll do that for all of these 3 strategies. Again, it's on that document 2. This is number 2. You can see it says template 2 over there already. But again, always just go template, load, and select that template 2 as you are copying the document. And here's that link anyway inside that strategy. So you're going to activate that. You're going to choose your trading account, enable, apply, and okay. Same with the third one. You're going to go to your strategies. You're going to choose a template. It's going to say that. Once you've loaded it, enable, apply, and okay. We won't worry about the 4th template right now because we're only focusing on this. So notice now how this strategy is, it's showing 750 and 60 as the tick delay and the settings. It's showing the daily stops and targets. It's showing the stop ticks and target ticks, and it's showing the settings in the buttons. Okay, so what I'm going to do now from my other computer is I'm actually going to go over here, and I don't know why this thing is translucent at the end. Hopefully it will come right. This is very weird. NinjaTrader has these funny little quirks, very funny little quirks, and I think it relates to duplicating tabs in new windows and things like that. But I'm going to just see if by some chance this is going to write itself. I had a trick before how to make this thing actually write itself, but it's like these little things with NinjaTrader, you know, that just, you know, just dumb. I don't know why they do that. But what we're going to do over here, and as you can see, I've got the auto optimize feature enabled. So I'm going to run a new optimization from my own computer. Okay, so this is as you can see, I'm just dragging this from my other screen, and the background game plan that you're seeing on here is loaded up on my customer version VPS. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to go and optimize between 2 and 10, 10 and 58, and I'm going to go and say, okay, well, I'm going to use stop ticks. Let's say I'm going to use 200 stops. Okay. And I'm going to use a 40 target. Oh, no, actually, let's leave it at 60. I don't want to change too much because we're going to come back to this just now. And we're going to, instead of trading from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m., let's go from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 11 a.m. like this. Okay, and we're going to trade all those days. That's fine. Those signals, and you know, let's update this. And actually, before I do, I just want to make sure I've done something very correct over here. I don't want to lose the settings for that very specific template that we had running. So I'm just going to go into my strategies on my other screen over here and just save this initial one. Okay, just 1 second, guys. Template load and one load. Okay, so now I can go and adjust this. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I did that first. So say, for example, now we want to go, well, we're happy to go for 3,000, 3,000, but hey, let's go for like a 3,000 stop, like this. And let's change the drawdown because we're trading a bit more of an active period. So I'm just going to adjust those values also. Where are we? 3,000, 3,000. Let's make this 2,000 and 2,000. So this is me on obviously doing it on my side over here on my own PC. So I'm going to run this and okay. And say, for example, you know what? I only want to optimize the last bit of data on the chart. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select the 27th of April to the 15th of May, and I'm going to run this. Okay, so let's just hope that when this repopulates, it's not translucent. I just made a slight mistake with the daily profit over there, which I'll quickly fix up. Okay. And let's try that again. Okay, so I'm going to run that. Okay, good stuff. Oh man, you know, when you have very good intentions to have a really powerful call to show this incredible feature and then they throw shit in your face, you know, it's it's sad, but you know what? I'm very resilient, as you guys know, and we'll get through this. And I probably will record a separate video also, going into really good detail about this and actually showing this exact feature off properly. Because now even NinjaTrader looks like it wants to screw with me, but it'll be very good to really put this in a very, very clear, concise format that's all together. But I'm glad you guys are watching this, because it's still going to give you the opportunity to have this working for you today going forward. So we'll just let this optimization complete, and I'm really hoping that this is not going to be translucent at all. I might just duplicate this in a new window just outside of what we're doing, in case I need to run it again, so that it actually shows clearly. And I'll move this out the way in a moment once NinjaTrader decides, hey, let's catch up. Okay, so this hopefully doesn't take 8 minutes. It shouldn't take 8 minutes at all, because I was doing other things, but it should actually speed up a lot now. It should actually run. And a very cool thing too is, if you want to run optimizations and you untick this include history and include the indicator, the optimizations run at like lightning speed. You're literally going to have about 1,000 iterations every 20 seconds. That's how fast the optimizations can run without those 2 tick boxes checked. But then obviously you're not seeing the results on the in the analyzer. You've got to load it up on a separate chart and tick those boxes to actually see the historical trades and the actual trade performance and all of that. Again, I'm gonna put that in another video just for this specific update. Okay, so this is almost done. So remember, you've got your game plan in the background, right? So you've got your game plan open on your computer. So make sure you got your game plan open. So this is what you're going to be looking at on your game plan, right? So you'll see that's the strategy over there for that period. It's all just this, ready for you guys. Okay, please tell me you're not going to be translucent in the background. Son of a... Okay, so it kind of is, which is really a pity. I don't know why NinjaTrader does that. Okay, but it's not like we have to, we don't really have to see these results in here. So what I'm going to do over here is, you'll see I've run an optimization. And what I'm going to do is, you'll see this template 1 is selected. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go template, and I'm going to go save, and I'm going to save it as template 1. Okay. So now that I've saved that, what will happen right now, and if we just give it a moment or two. So the strategy has a timer built into it. So the game plan strategy. So if we look at the game plan strategy, you'll see there it's got 7, 50, 60, and it's got those are the settings that are there. Okay, for the template that we had. Now it takes about a minute or so, but what you're going to notice is that all of these settings are going to be updated automatically. So you'll see it's got the old settings there. It's got a 3,000 daily target, a 2,000 daily stop, 1750 drawdown, 750 60. So everything that you're looking at over here is basically the settings that the strategy had prior to it having settings updated. So now, and you'll see from my optimization that I did, you'll see the new settings were 944.60, and those are all the things. So if we go into our strategy settings now, you will see that those settings have been updated. So now it's 9, it's 44, it's 60. They include everything's there. There's the stop ticks, the target ticks, and look, it's even updated the start time. So the start time, the end time. So all of those settings were automatically updated just by me running an analyzer and saving that template. I didn't have to upload any templates. I didn't have to download any templates to Discord. I didn't have to upload any templates to my website for you guys to go manually select them. It's like that was all automatically placed in your strategy. All you had to do was have that chart active, and those settings were automatically updated. Now, you'll see the button also changed. So you see there's the stop ticks, it changed to 200, the target ticks changed to 60. So every single thing in the strategy now, this chart that you're looking at is only going to trade from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. now. So without you doing anything, you never had to load templates, you never had to refresh the chart, you never had to do anything at all. And what's more is the indicator on the chart is now going to automatically update according to those new settings that were put into it. So I guess the real amazing thing about this is that, we're entering a phase over here where templates are going to be automatically pushed to strategies. And literally, as you guys saw, in the beginning, as you guys saw in, to load the strategy, all you have to do is make sure that you have, the trading chart loaded for, any date range, as long as it contains the last 2 Sundays, and just the data series. So you only need to have the data series loaded and the template loaded, and everything else can be pushed automatically to your strategy. So on my other screen over here, I'm just bringing up a chart over here for the NQ to show that process again. So all you guys have to do is go to your strategy. So first thing, obviously, you've done is you've loaded your chart, right? So you've loaded the NQ 2020. So that's all you guys have done. Is you've gone into your, you've opened up a new chart. You've loaded a 2020 bars. As long as you've chosen a Sunday as your start date, you can just use the last 2 Sundays. So 14 days or less is all you need to actually have on your trading chart. So like, as you can see, today's the 11th. So all we're doing is we're loading the last 14 days of data. So it's got to include today, Sunday, and the previous Sunday. So the 4th of May up until now. So all you have to do is load up that, okay, and go into your strategies and select the analytical strategy one like this. And you go template and you go load one. So the moment that you load this template, okay, everything, this one over here, sorry, the moment you load this template, initially, and you only have to do this initially, once you've loaded that, you're using the auto optimize feature, which means that all your settings going forward will be updated automatically. So, and you'll see it's already pre-populated those settings, because that's what that template is. That's what that template has actually been pushed to. And then you're going to activate your strategy like this. So going forward now, anything any template that has been, any settings that have been updated for that specific template will automatically be pushed to it, and your strategy will trade on those very specific times. So every single thing in it. So there's no need to go and put multiple, different settings basically inside your strategy. You just have to have the one chart loaded. So the idea behind this too is I'm going to be running optimizations during the trading day, and I'm going to be pushing new settings to your strategies automatically throughout the trading day. And that's also one of the reasons why I've done it from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. is that's because, that's when I can actively run optimizations. I can do anything that I want inside the strategy analyzer. Like I can optimize all different values of setting A and B, tick delays, stop ticks, target ticks, trading hours. Like I can go crazy inside the analyzer. And whenever I save that template, and I call that template, or I save it and I overwrite the template, those settings are going to be automatically pushed to your strategy. So I hope that sounds pretty cool, right? Now what I want to do, I want to go back to that strategy analyzer that I was just working with. And I wanted to bring up that thing again. So I'm going to go template and I'm going to go load. So I did keep an original one of this because I didn't want to update our game plan going ahead for the day. Okay, so those were the settings over there. And even if I look at them, so it was 10:58:60. Was the settings, I just wanted to 10:50:60, sorry. I just want to check something very quickly because I did load this up on a chart. I just want to make sure I'm using the right settings. So of course I can go rerun the strategy analyzer now, but just to save to save some time, I'm just going to load up this one over here. It was 7:50:60. Okay, so in my strategy analyzer, it was 7:50:60. Okay, so back to my strategy analyzer. Sorry, a bit all over the place today. Did I close it? Okay, perfect. So all I have to do over here, and this is also a very simple thing I can do on my side. And we'll just give this another moment. Okay, so this is my system here, okay? My own computer. So behind is the VPS in New York, and this is my strategy analyzer from my work computer over here. So I'm just going to load this, and I'm going to, so this was the setting now. So like this is the one from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. So this is the one that we're running for our game plan today. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go template. Okay. I'm going to go template and I'm going to go save, and I'm going to save it as this one. I'm just going to remove this one because we don't need it anymore. So I'm going to save it as this one. I'm going to click save. I'm going to overwrite that template. That's all I have to do. So now what will happen now is within 2 minutes, this chart over here on my New York VPS is going to update to those settings again. So you can imagine what the potential is of this. So you can understand the potential of this. So the only part I have not fully Hello, hello. Damn it! This thing is really pissing me off today. That's just the bottom line, you know. Okay, guys, I am extremely sorry for the technical difficulties we are experiencing today. So I'm going to see what the hell is going on my system, and hopefully we can, you know, get this done properly next time without any issues. Okay, guys. There was a few minutes there that with the audio cut out, which is again a real pain in the ass. So I'm really sorry about that thing. I don't understand why that happened. I got no understanding why the piece of shit just all of a sudden dropped sound. I mean, I got the best setup over here. Anyway, I hope you guys got the gist of what was happening over there. Again, I think I'm going to record another video later, and I'm going to upload that for you guys. But for the meantime, all you have to do is run your game plan. Okay, so load up the charts and run the game plan. That's all you have to do. Okay, and I'm going to be optimizing in the back end, and all you guys have to do is wake up in the morning and see your account grow by, you know, whatever it's going to grow by. So I'm really proud of this update. I'm not proud of this call because the shitty vMix software, you know, malfunctioned during it. But, you know, hopefully you still got good value out of it and didn't waste too much of your time, and at least got the gist of what this thing is. And like I said, I'm going to redo these videos and, you know, upload them a bit later, which is a real pain in the ass because I don't actually have time for this. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and let's see how we can kick ass with this game plan this week. You know, we've got some good templates over here. This auto optimize feature. You know, I'm going to be pushing those settings to your strategy, and I think we're going to have a really awesome you know, week ahead. Okay, guys, thank you, and we shall chat later. Cheers.